Okay, let's go.
Okay, welcome back to American Rants Unredacted, episode 29. Fuck, I really need to write this shit down. Anyway, I wanted to touch base on the American dream. Now, there was a time, or I would say a while ago, where even a bartender or a waiter could earn a decent income, afford to buy a house, have some money to invest in, let's say, stocks or something like that, and, be a little more, build wealth, basically, but as time progressed, and I don't even know when it started, like the American dream kept shifting and shifting and shifting and shifting, and now I would say, I don't know, I'll give it like a 70-30 split, like 30 probably believe and live their American dream, and about 70, I don't even like that split. Let's say 20-80. 80% of us don't. Like, a lot of people are starting to think the American dream is dead. But one thing that I have noticed with after FIFA and everybody from other countries coming here, they loved America, they love the food, probably because we have more chemicals in ours. But they love the idea of America, and some people who have moved here, they're actually thriving pretty well. I mean, some of the ones that I saw are just basically like Instagram, like TikTok accounts, and for all I know, it's someone out of country experiencing America for the first time, so they get a crap ton of followers, a tons of likes, and all this other stuff. People wanted to show them a good time and like what America is all about. But for the everyday citizen, it's not so bright, not so bright. But anyways, let's go through some of these clips. We'll comment on them, and we'll go from there. All right, let's get started.
The American dream is to get the F out of America. I'm in Japan right
And some people apparently want to leave America for their American dream. Sorry, I left that out.
now, and I can't even tell you how much better Japan is compared to America. The food is so fresh here. Like, even the food that you get at like the convenience store tastes better than any restaurant would in America. Not just that, but it's like super safe too if you're a woman. Like, you could literally just leave your Chanel bag on the table, like at a coffee shop or a restaurant, and no one's gonna steal it. Like, it was so funny. The other day, I actually saw a woman who just left her Birkin bag like on a table at the coffee shop, and she just like left it there and went to the bathroom, and it was still there when she came back. And people just have a lot more respect for each other. I feel like every time I come to America or I'm in America, it's just like fight or flight mode. Like, everyone hates each other, everyone's against each other, everyone's pitting one another against another. And honestly, like, it's just so expensive even to live in America. Like, I live in Miami and I'm about to pay like $5,000 per month on rent, and I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself just to live in like a tiny ass home that overlooks a little bit of the ocean? It just doesn't make any sense. I think the goal for the future is to make the American dollars move out, do your own thing, and just live in another country, because it's becoming very clear at this point that America just doesn't care about us.
First of all, I would like to know what you do for a living that you can afford rent that is $5,000 a month. That's insane. Then again, I don't know how expensive Miami is. Never been there. But, I've heard stories like this. Japan, Dubai, there's a lot of countries where it's very, very safe, because if you steal or something like that, like you either get thrown in prison like right away, or you get your arms chopped off or your hands chopped off. Now, that could be a rumor, but that's just what I heard. I don't know. But, with punishments like that, yeah, it sways people from stealing. And, I understand the pitting people against each other. I get it. The whole red, blue, left, right, white, black, brown, all of it. Like, why the government does that, and I do believe it is the government. I don't know why they do that. Maybe because united we stand, divided we fall, I guess. Because at the end of all this bickering and going back and forth, it really comes down to the people versus the government. And that's how it's going to be. But no one can seem to get together on that. But anyways, let's continue.
You're telling me we have a trillionaire now, but my girlfriend who makes $15 an hour makes too much money to get government health care?
Yes.
Okay, America is the only country that respects hard work. It doesn't matter where you came from. If you're here and you're not lazy and you're not soft and you're not stupid and you're willing to put the work, you can make it. Doesn't matter what your religion, doesn't matter what your race, doesn't matter, nothing matters. Doesn't matter how you look like, okay?
What does he mean by work hard and not lazy? And you, like, because I work hard. I know I'm not lazy. And I am not living the American dream.
If you're in America and you're willing to work hard, you can make it. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, the free market will reward you, you know? Free market will reward you. It's unheard in the rest of the world. In Europe or in Asia or in Middle East, you have to know somebody or you have to be a relative of somebody to be put in the positions or just to have some ways to the opportunities, okay? So there is no chances. Like, if you've been born there and you are not a nephew of a president, you fucked. You're not going to have a good life, okay? And here, even if you came from the stinkiest, dirtiest place in the world and you've been born on the in the trash bin, but you come here legally, you can become a millionaire, you can become a billionaire, and do whatever.
What are you guys' thoughts on that? Like I said, I work hard. My job is taking a huge toll on my body. Like, I'm falling apart, basically. I'm just waiting for the day that something just like takes me out of commission when it comes to work. But maybe, is it because that we were born here and we grew up here, and I would say we somewhat kind of thrived here, under what is the so-called American dream, that maybe we don't see those kinds of opportunities anymore, and it takes people from other countries coming here trying to make it. Like, everyone's talking about, like, the trillionaire, Elon Musk, richest man in the world. And there's a lot of hate on there, but you know what? I'm like, dude's from South Africa. As far as I can understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, he came here legally. He employs thousands of people, thousands of Americans, and he built his dream through the American system. That is like the definition of the American dream, and that's literally why people want to rush over here. But I don't know. I mean, I'm never gonna build a fucking rocket. Like, don't know how. Honestly, I do not care. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe we're just born too comfortable with the conditions of our country that it takes other people from foreign countries to come over to show us that the system can work. It doesn't have to work against us. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
It's called the American dream because for many Americans, it's still just a dream. We were told that if we followed the law and contribute through our taxes, we would be afforded the American dream. Yet prisoners receive free housing, free meals, and free health care without following the law or contributing through taxes. We were told education is the key to success and prosperity. But before you become a graduate, you must first accumulate student debt. We are told to be productive members of society.
Honestly, like, I get everything he said so far. You do not have to acquire a shitload of debt. I mean, I guess it just depends on what you want to do. But I think the statistics are 75 to 80% of people who work, who have degrees or have jobs that have nothing to do with their degree. So I would say, honestly, like, I get the whole go to school, study something that you're passionate about. And, there's like a 50-50 chance you're going to land a job doing something like that. And maybe you're going to be the one in a million who might get the amazing job that they love that ties into what you studied. And, yeah, that's paying off for you. But the average American and everybody who has acquired all this student debt, they don't use their degrees when it comes to work. So I don't want to say college is bad or scam. I want to say particular jobs. Before you go to college, why don't you study the job market, see what is in demand, and then see if any of those things tie to your interests when it comes to your college courses. Because if you don't, you're going to end up not using it, and you're going to just have a shitload of debt that is going to take forever to pay off, depending on what you try and study. And also, if you're going to take the debt on, maybe condition yourself that you will never quit. There's a lot of people who start, get the debt, go to school, don't finish, and now they're just stuck with the debt, and they can't even get a job in the field that whatever they were studying for. Or sometimes, people will people will get into college, they get the degree, they come into a business that they've wanted to work at, and they find out other people got there with no college degree. They just started working there, and they built their way up. So, I don't know if it's a scam or not, but college just seems... Gosh, I don't even want to say it's unimportant. I don't know. Everyone has their own thoughts on it.
Yes, some full-time workers qualify for assistance because their wages are not enough. We are told freedom is our greatest value. Yet most people cannot afford the freedom to stop working and simply live. We are told to build a future. Yet many people spend most of their lives simply trying to keep up with the present.
True.
The American dream was once about getting ahead. For many people today, it's about not falling behind.
Gosh, that's so freaking true. I like exactly how he worded that.
How do y'all enjoy your weekends when you're broke? Am I the only one saying this? But you ever work all week, you realize you ain't got no money, then the weekend rolls around, and you think to yourself, I can't enjoy it because I got no money to do nothing. I remember in the summertime, one time I was getting ready to go get gas to mow my lawn, and I realized I was broke and had to take money off my overdraft, my checking account, just to buy fuel for my lawnmower. And I'm watching all my neighbors with RVs and got trampolines in their back lawns, and they got four-wheelers and all these things that luxuries that I can't buy, and it doesn't really bother me, but because I don't really care about luxuries in life. But I'm I just want to be able to enjoy my weekend and feel like I got a few extra dollars, or when I'm mowing my lawn, I want to take pride in that. But I can't explain the feeling that you get when you're broke on a weekend. You just almost feel guilty for enjoying yourself. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Me and my wife went and did the pre-approval process for a mortgage loan yesterday, and what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't upset me for us because we aren't the average American family. I work a very niche job in the oil field. I make a very good income. My wife is a nurse. She does very good for herself, and combined, we have a very comfortable living in our home. But for the average American, this is way fucking far out of reach. In our area, we live in East Texas, okay? A good home is going to be at least $400,000, if not $450 to $500. Okay, I try to explain this to my mom. She's telling me, "Oh, y'all just go get you a little $200,000 house." Mama, these $200,000 houses are fucking rundown shack. We're looking at the numbers, looking at our income, looking at our credit, and they have us at $450,000, 5% down, which is $22,000. Thank God we got a little bit of money saved. They have our mortgage after PMI, after insurance, after taxes at $4,636 a month. What the fuck are you talking about, okay? And the thing is, we could afford it. We actually could afford to spend that money on a mortgage every month. But a $5,000 mortgage? Who are y'all selling these fucking houses to? Because we are outliers, okay? Not everybody is fortunate to have the jobs that we have. What about the regular fucking families that bring in combined $100,000 a year? They will never qualify for this. What the fuck is
They're refusing to let the housing market correct. And everyone's seen the clips of Trump, and he's like, oh, no, people are feeling better about themselves because their house values are up, and I ain't going to do anything to damage that, even though the market needs a correction. A $250,000 home It's still a $250,000 home if you haven't done any fucking work on it, and then you're trying to tell everybody it's worth $550,000. You're right.
Not America look like Dubai and Germany, and why doesn't America look like Russia and Persia, and where the is the money going? There should be grapes, turnips, vegetables, everything on the streets every day for the homeless to eat. You're making us pay for water, you son of a... You're making us pay for grapes, apples, things that God gave us for free. Ha! Ha! Da, 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 bosha. You will burn in hell when I'm through with you.
That's a very good point. And I've always wondered that. Like, I've always seen other people going out of, on trips, going to go see other countries. And when I see some of the cities that they have out there, and I realize we don't have anything like it in the United States, but we're the superpower. We're the richest country in the world. Yet, we're about, I don't know, 2 decades behind other people when it comes to our structures and how everything looks. And I don't know. It's blowing my mind too. I liked everything he just said and how he phrased it.
You will not be allowed in my Father's house at all.
Can somebody explain to me in crayon eating terms why I make over 3 times the federal minimum wage and I cannot afford to live?
I know he kind of answered the question himself in his own video, but I want to highlight one thing he briefly mentioned and talk about it, which is that the American dream is dead. Yes, the traditional American dream, which is like doing better than your parents and being able to provide a lot for your family, is dead, or at least it's changed. Because there are many of us that are well aware that we will never be able to make as much money as our parents did. And I think my mother, who is a boomer and benefited directly from the system in place, said it best when she once said, roughly, that the American dream has changed. It's become very apparent to everyone that in this economy, Gen Z, millennials, and some Gen Xers, many of us will not be able to do better than our parents. We won't even be able to do as well as our parents. And now the American dream has become just being able to get by, being able to maybe afford a house at some point, maybe have a kid or two if we're lucky enough to make that much money. And a lot of us, myself included, who has now experienced company like financial related layoffs twice so far in the last 2 years since I've entered the job market. You know, those of us who feel like we're constantly in fight or flight about bills and how we're going to keep making it by, it's making us miserable and feel so hopeless. And yes, I could sit here all day and show you graphs of how like inflation is going up, and while wages are going up, it's just not matching inflation. So it feels like we're all just constantly working and working, and the goalpost just keeps getting moved further and further away from us. And yeah, it has a lot of us extremely stressed and worried and feel like just giving up because we're constantly running a race where the finish line is getting moved further out. And I think it's...
Now, the goalpost is moving, and it is stressing everybody out. As far as giving up, though, I can't. I mean, I don't know her situation. I got 2 little girls, got a wife. I can't give up. Even if I wanted to give up, I morally and ethically could not. Which is why I started doing this, even though it's a little slow takeoff, but, you know, whatever. But, yeah, everyone's struggling out there, and the traditional American dream is 100% dead. 100%. Unless we stop sending our money out of the country, and unless we stop getting involved in other people's businesses. Like, I don't want to say I want us to be like an isolated country, but I want us to be an isolated country for like 10, 15 years. 10, 15 years. Build up our infrastructure, you know, resupply all of our weapons, build some more oil refineries out here, and we'll just refine our oil. Get off of OPEC so we can just make our own prices for our gas. That's what I think we should do.
Obvious that we're all just really exhausted by it now. I know I am. I'm constantly hitting a wall with all of this. And a lot of us have to wake up every day blatantly knowing we will never do as well as our parents did. And we just have to try to make it, you know, somewhat close to that. I'm sorry. My dad passed away several years ago on this date. So I'm just thinking about him. And sometimes I feel like he'd be proud of me, but sometimes I feel like he'd be very disappointed. But he was also an extremely intelligent businessman with multiple degrees. So I think he, more than anyone, would really understand what we're all feeling right now.
From 1948 to 1973, for 25 years, the U.S. economy was so amazing that you could conceivably get a job. I mean, a regular job. I don't mean an amazing job. Just a job. And the pay would be so high and the benefits so amazing that you could not only afford to buy a house and feed your family, you might be able to send your kids to school.
Now, where did it all go wrong from there? Where did it all go wrong? Can anyone tell me? I don't know. It could be, not having the dollar backed by gold anymore so we can just print as much as we want. It could be tons of things. I don't know. In your opinion, let me know in the comments, when did you start to see or think that the start of the American dream was starting to shift and go away?
And you might be able to retire really well. That was the only time, in fact, in human history where a person could work and make wealth. Because if you look at the middle class today in the United States, they don't make wealth. They barely get by.
You'll get a lot of hate for it if you say it out loud.
That 95% of the U.S. population is brainwashed into believing that working 50 years of their life on a job that they don't really want to do and trading all of that for 5 to 10 years of quote-unquote freedom, but it's not really freedom because you're old and you can't even enjoy it. It is unrealistic. It is, quite frankly, stupid.
Shut up, kid. What do you know? I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's right. He's right. But again, we all notice the changes. We all see what has to happen. The question is, can we get this corrected before the next generation comes up? Or are we just going to keep letting it slip away?
Guys, we finally did it. The American dream. Now that all those files are being released, we can see that things are even worse than we could have ever imagined. Nice. For a long time, people would argue about what conspiracy theories were true about the people in power on either the left or the right. Turns out it's a much more sinister third option, which is that they're kind of all true. Awesome. Nothing screams red, white, and blue like the news and media being owned by the exact people that are either in the files or directly connected to the people in them. If you think this stuff is bad, I wonder what they're not showing us. USA! USA! Come on, USA! Did somebody say masked federal agents infringing upon our sacred constitutional rights while foreign governments blackmail our elected officials? Yeah, sign my red, white, and blue ass up, bitch. I like my government how I like my coffee. Compromised. With 2 creams and 1 sugar. Statue of Liberty, bald eagle, Liberty Bell, all symbols meant to represent pick which team you're on, and then fight the other team until you're in active psychosis. Join an echo chamber, confirm your biases, do whatever you can to make yourself as easy as possible to control. And trust me, I know, all this thinking is so hard. That's why AI is here to think for us. We'll be quietly eradicated soon because our human worth is directly correlated to the profit that we make for the very people that use us, and AI is much more profitable. I can't wait.
I gotta see if he has more videos. That was funny.
Listen, I'm not getting this shit. Why do people here in this country always seem to complain when they talk about people getting food stamps and welfare, Section 8, all this shit? Talking about, oh, they leech.
I don't think people complain about everyone getting that if you actually need it. I think that's all everybody's saying. Don't get me wrong. I still think they should have taken care of any type of fraud that has taken billions of dollars. There's a lot of what was it? I forgot where it was, but you have like the old people clinic in California, I heard. And then there was daycare up in Tampon Tim's area. I think it was Tim. Yeah, I think it was Tim. Tim Waltz is there. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like everyone's like hating on anybody who needs food stamps. If you need the food stamps and you need the assistance, take the assistance, improve your situation. It's the people who are bending the rules and probably never holding a job. And you got all those people, and I don't know how true it was. I mean, there was a lot of people on like TikTok or Instagram or any of that shit talking about food stamps and all that other shit and how they were racking in like $6,000 a month. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think anyone actually has a legitimate problem who if somebody actually needs the system, that they get help. Like that's what it's there for.
Off the government. When the government takes our tax dollars to do what the fuck they want anyway. Most of our money is going overseas. Only a small percentage really comes to the people. That was then. Now hardly none is coming back to the people. But we want to bitch about what's supposed to come to us. And then I'm seeing people on here talking about, well, our tax dollars doing this. You haven't figured it out by now? It ain't our fucking money. Nothing is hardly owned by an American in this fucking country. Your home? Oh yeah, okay, you the one lucky one, right? That paid it off? No, the fuck you haven't. Why? You gonna pay taxes on that thing for the rest of the time that house is...
Oh, I have never understood that. How could you pay off your house from the loan that you got, paid off the house, paid off the interest, and still have to pay property taxes? It literally will blow your mind if you actually sat down and pulled it up and looked at everything that is taxed. It's so retarded. Sorry if that offended anybody with that word. It is just mind-blowing how much we have allowed, and I say that, yeah, allowed the government to push on us when it comes to taxes. It is insane. And we let it happen. Unfortunately, I have to say we have nobody to blame but ourselves.
On that property. Miss them taxes, you ain't got a home no more. Same with a car. And I know you own that. But that's why they keep making you pay insurance and stickers, all that shit on it. So they can have a reason to put that bitch up or take it from you. So the tax dollar, talking about that shit, wash it off. There's nothing we can do about it except one thing which people were talking about and everybody's too afraid to do it. Stop paying fucking taxes. What they gonna do, take everything from us? We don't own shit. Evidently not. Because they can take it any damn way.
How did the American dream die? How did the middle class die? I'm going to tell you, it started in the 1980s with trickle-down economics that did not work. They decided to give tax cuts to the rich and corporations.
Oh, I was just asking this question.
Saying that money would trickle down. It didn't. It just made the rich richer. Then we greenlit stock buyback. So instead of, when the productivity was going up, instead of giving workers more money, they just bought back their stocks so the shareholders could make profit and the executives could get bonuses. Then we had leverage buyouts, and the government didn't regulate leverage buyouts, and that was the start of private equity basically buying up everything so that they could make more money. Then we moved away from pensions to 401ks, which essentially just took the responsibility and accountability of the company to take care of their workers with the retirement and put it on to individuals, but we were never taught economics in high school.
You know, I was actually very lucky and fortunate the time that I got into my job that the last group of guys that got that were trained and put through, we were the last ones to get vested for pensions. So I was very fortunate to get that.
So how the fuck are we supposed to know about compound interest and investing? But they may said the 401k was better than the pension when it wasn't. Then they started shipping our jobs overseas, building the middle class of other countries so that they could make more profit, destroying the middle class here. Then we started ramping up the borrowing money and getting into debt as a country, which devalues our dollar. And then in 2008, we had predatory lending, which crashed the housing market, fucked over so many Americans. And then we used taxpayer money to bail out the banks. And when all the houses were cheap, the rich went and bought those up. And that's when you started to see the rent start to increase.
And maybe someone could tell me this. If we have just let the banks fail, what would have happened? I mean, there may have been like, you know, depending on, I guess, whatever bank it was. I mean, there'd be, yeah, people out of money. I get it. But would it be, was the repercussions of letting them fail worse? Like way worse, like some kind of catastrophic event in the United States that we just had to bail them out. We had to. Like it wasn't even an option. It wasn't even a choice. Does anybody know what it would look like if we just let the banks fucking fail instead of the taxpayers bailing them out?
Around the 2010s into the 2015s. And then in 2011, we allowed super PACs to exist. So billionaires can now buy elections, and they use that money on attack ads, which divides the country. Divide and conquer, and that's what they did. In 2020, we had the pandemic, which both sides of the aisle handled like absolute shit, shut down all small businesses, all the money went to the top, the rich got richer, they printed trillions of dollars more, which people needed, but what did all the people do? We spent the money because we needed to spend the money, and where did that money go? To the top, and they got richer. And lastly, they decided during the pandemic, let's lower the interest rates on buying a home to 2.5% to 3% so that people could refinance and get ahead. But no, all that really did was give the green light to a bunch of rich people to basically borrow free money and buy up all the fucking housing so that we can no longer own a home. And that all ended in 2021. Then we've experienced 25% inflation since the pandemic. And here we are in 2025, and we no longer have a middle class, and the American dream is dead.
Dead.
I don't understand how fucked up America gotta be for you to work hard and still have no fucking where to go. It's just like, oh my gosh, when is it all going to end? Like, y'all, it's so bad to the point where even though you work, you more than likely can't even eat every day. Not even 3 times a day. Me, none. Yet they expect us to keep
I'm gonna say 2.
working with a smile on our face. Fuck all of that. I be seeing why people don't fucking want to work. They pay us a little bit of money, but make everything fucking expensive. I'll be damned if I'm putting my life on the line for $14, $15. And then the whole...
What kind of job do you have? Because if you are putting your life on the line, you definitely need more than $14 to $15.
whole time, your ass can get hurt or die at the fucking job you're at. So now you done fucking wasted your whole life being a hard worker to a company that don't give a fuck about what you got going on. Don't give a fuck that you don't have nowhere to go. Just don't give a good goddamn. And certain people will never understand the frustration. You guys will never understand unless you're going through it. There is no reason why hard workers can't afford to eat, can't afford to live, can't afford to pay rent. It is so much. And I just wanted to let everybody out there know, okay? If you are deciding to bring your ass to America, hold on, y'all. Stay the fuck over there. Do not come over here. Please. I beg of you. This shit sucks. All prayers to all my Americans, all my USA motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, my cousins, all that. We gotta figure something out, because this ain't gonna work for me.
Make it $2,500
I like her.
this month. What I do to this money? What a minute. I need to do payments. Oh my God. Oh my life, brothers. $1,700 for rent. That's a lot of money. The owner to the building, he got rich quick, and I continue poor. That's not right. $200 for electricity. No, that's a lot of money too. $100 for my cell phone from Cricket. Sometimes I don't have a service, but I need pay anyway. $500 for child support. Oh my God. Why no use protection? I never use TV. Oh my gosh. And only $2 for me. That's my American dream. Oh my God, what I do to this life. Oh my God. Thank you, Mr. Trump, motherfucker.
Anyone ever thought it's weird that the American dream is just shelter? Like, if you just work hard enough, you can have a roof over your head and continue to figure out how to pay for that.
100%. My American dream right now is just to make sure my kids have clothes, have food, and we never end up on the street. That's about it. Kind of sad. I know. But as of right now, until things get better in the United States, that's exactly what my American dream is.
Roof, your entire existence. Hold on a second. Think how much farther we could evolve with technology and advancements and innovation if people weren't trying to figure out how the fuck they're gonna sleep at night 30 days from now. And I'm the crazy one. Wake the fuck up.
When the hell did the American dream become, let's get a $600,000 loan so I can be in debt for the rest of my life, so I can work at a job that I fucking hate for the rest of my life? When did that become the American dream? And when is it a good idea to kick out your son or your daughter at the age of 18 when they have nothing just so they can get their own loans?
Jeez, I've been wrestling with that thought ever since it's kind of messed up, I know, but every birthday, my oldest child, she just turned 12. But for the past like 5 or 6 years, I'd be doing a countdown. I'd be like 13 more years. And then like now we're down to 6 more years. She's like, but what if I don't want to leave? I'm like, well, then you're going to pay rent. You got to get a job, all this other stuff. If the economy has not improved, in my right mind, I can't do what I wanted to do. I mean, well, I'm just hoping they have like, my kids will have drive like I did. Like, I graduated high school. My dad said, what's next? I said, I don't know. He's all, okay, get a job, pay rent. I'm like, get a job and pay rent? And he's all, well, you're old enough. He gave me the summer to find a job. And by the end of summer, I had money saved up with my friends, and we rented a house, and I moved out. Never went back. So I'm hoping my kids have some kind of motivation, some kind of drive to get out into the world, but I want them to be able to survive, not just exist. So I want them to thrive a little bit more. So I guess it will depend on the economy and what's going on out there if I decide to give my kids the boot.
So they can be in debt forever? That's not the American dream. They lied to you. They sold you a false bag of goods. Congratulations. Welcome to America.
New American dream is finding a work from home job that pays really well. So that way you can get all your groceries delivered, get all your food delivered, and you never have to go out into the world and interact with anyone. Because in 2026, everybody out there in public fucking sucks.
Do you ever think that maybe you just suck? I don't know. I like to think I can get along with anybody. And if people give me the opportunity to talk to them and we can find like some kind of common ground, we usually get along. As an independent, I had Democrat customers, and yeah, we gave each other shit all the time, but it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. So I like both sides. I got friends on both sides of the fucking aisle. I got, I'm friendly with my neighbors. Unless they are unfriendly to me or my family, then I'm not. I don't really give a shit. So I guess it just depends on the attitude that you bring. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know in the comments, is the American dream alive? Are you living the American dream? Do you feel like you're going to achieve the American dream? Do you think our generation can fix the country so our kids' futures are more brighter than they are now? But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, do all that fun shit, and I'll catch you next time. All right, thanks. Bye.